Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to something, I say very different for the channel. I mean, it's not stuff that I usually react to, but this case is mental. I mean, I feel like everyone's probably seen bits to do with it, but it is mad. And I've seen bits of it, but I've not been following it closely because it's just crazy, like, stories of what this guy does. Is he like pretty much just, I don't think you can say the name, the Jeffrey of music, like the musical industry. Like, I swear he's been doing some crazy things, but I don't really know the details, and I guess we're gonna see in this video. It's weird because I feel like I'm very behind with this. All I've really seen is he had like 1,000 bottles of was it baby lotion, baby oil or something, which is mad. It just goes to show probably what he's like, what he does. But yeah, he's a freaky ass person. And I guess, yeah, this is a video that's going to talk about some of the things that he's got up to, but it might just be touching the surface. I feel like I've seen earlier today that there's actually more allegations going against him, but I've not even really seen the allegations prior. Actually, I've seen a bit. I've definitely seen like he's involved with other musicians. I've seen like videos of him like talking to Justin Bieber and all this stuff. I don't know what their relation is. There's also like musicians from the past, a lot of like abuse, obviously, like horrible things. But he's a man who's hopefully never going to see the light of day outside a cell ever again. And yeah, I guess the more stuff that comes out, the more we're going to realise what a psycho he really is, although we already know that. But also, I feel like I've seen something to do with someone saying the like people that are involved with him, like other, I guess, famous people and stuff. There's going to be stuff revealed soon. So hopefully we can actually get some information from this mad old like situation, because with the previous case that was on an island that, you know, famous people used to go to do all this ridiculous stuff, and then he was, you know, silenced. We didn't really get to the bottom of what was happening, so hopefully they don't fucking let him just, I don't know, like, obviously, I guess, take his life, and then we can't find out other people who have been doing some like horrible things. But we're gonna check this out. P Diddy, obviously, he's a weirdo, to say the least. He's known for his music, and was he also not involved in? So I should get into the video. Is he not also involved in like the deaths of Tupac and stuff? Is there like conspiracies about that? This guy's been about, man. He's done so many things. He's been around for ages. But let's jump into this. It's also a reaction to a channel that he might take a sort of an approach in this where you might not like it, but he's done sort of these sort of videos and other like people before, and I feel like he talks about topics that all explain the situation. So yeah, just a heads up, because you might not like his style, but it is what it is.
It's bad boy for life. We all love a bad boy, don't we? Yeah? Not a sex trafficker, we don't. This is just ruined.
Oh, he's a sex trafficker as well.
So many good songs for me.
Damn.
Biggie's album has P. Diddy all throughout it, doing his little ad-libs. That was shit, but we allowed it. More Money, More Problems will never sound the same again. And the D to the A to the DDY. it's fucked.
Just snorted everywhere.
Don't we, before we get into the miserable, disgusting crimes he's really actually committed. So yeah, I think this is like my fourth video on P. Diddy, because for whatever reason, the man cannot stop committing crimes. And he was actually very truthful when he said bad boy for life, because life is exactly what he's looking at, or at least 25 to life. Because this man, after reading the indictment on him, he's fucked. He is absolutely fucked. He is going from that beautiful mansion he owns straight to a miserable, grotty little jail cell. And you know what? He's such a fucking prick. He really deserves it. So far, he's been charged with racketeering, which is basically criminal activities designed to gain profit disguised as legitimate business deals. Sex trafficking by fraud, force, or coercion. This is the practice of illegally transporting people for sexual exploitation, and then also transporting people to engage in prostitution. And honestly, reading all of this, it's just like a slam dunk, man. This is going to be the easiest case of their lives. Now, they've thrown him straight in jail. He's asked for bail. They said, get fucked.
I saw this. Was it like 50 million or something? 50 million bail is crazy. And the fact that they said no, I think it's 50 million anyway. I guess it shows just the information is just endless. He's probably going to try and escape or something, right? If he gets out of jail.
He then offered them 50 million in cash, and they still said no, which is unheard of, by the way. I mean, that's the level of desperation we're at right now. He was saying, look, I'll wear an ankle monitor, I'll have personal security so that you'll make sure that I'm not a flight risk and all of that. They don't believe you. He's even offered to not speak to any women because it's just like he's clearly such a fucking danger to them. But the government aren't buying it. And the fact that they are keeping him detained like this says a lot, in my opinion. They don't trust him because they know not only is he a flight risk, but also the witnesses in this case are at risk if he's out on the streets. Because this psychopath, and that's exactly what he is, by the way, will stop at nothing to get what he wants, and that is absolutely clear. And the funny thing is, he predicted this in 1999 in an interview.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my party. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time.
So he knew fine well what he was doing was...
So he's been doing this shit for like a good 25, 30 years then. What the hell?
Wrong, and that he was going to get in trouble for it, and guess what? He did it anyway. Now, the indictment alleges that Diddy used his businesses, which is his resources within the business, the money, etc., and his employees to facilitate his desires, including his freak-offs. What a word that's become, honestly. And just to give you a little list of exactly what him and his employees got up to here, we've got sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offences, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Wow. Like, you know what?
Jeez.
You're P. Diddy. You've got all the money in the world. You don't need to do any of this. But for some people, the more powerful they get, the more dark their imagination becomes, and the more they want to push the boundaries to do the craziest fucked up shit possible. And this is what happens when a psychopath gets this much power. Even those words coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, it wasn't enough for him to get consenting, prostitutes who do this by trade. What a trade. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember that in my apprenticeship. But people who do this for a living anyway. It was fun for him to take people who would never ordinarily have been a prostitute into that so that they could become his toys. And by the sounds of it, P. Diddy and his employees would do whatever it took to get women into his inner circle to participate in whatever fucked up shit he was into. He would use threats. He would use intimidation. He would even use the offer of a romantic relationship, that lover boy method that Andrew Tate made famous, to get them to participate in whatever he wanted. He would then get these women to engage in sex acts with male prostitutes that he'd also hired for his entertainment. He would basically sit back and direct it and have a wank at the same time while...
What the fuck? Oh, he's a fucked up individual. What the hell? How does it even cross your mind to spend your money on that sort of stuff? But damn, he's really got a whole load of different things going up against him. Bloody hell. How is it taking so long to get to this position where they're jailing him now? Surely they had information and stuff beforehand, no?
The whole thing was being recorded. This is absolutely mental. He's got the brain of like a 14-year-old psychopath. Like, it's not enough for him to just get a woman who loves him and have sex with her. And even then, there would have been people who are willing to consent into some of this fucked up shit. And maybe some of the people involved were consenting. But the point is that just was never enough for him, clearly. It's the power of getting people to do what they ordinarily would never have done. That's part of the thing that fucking gets it off for him. Now, these freak-offs would apparently last for multiple days and would involve multiple sex workers. And during them, he would supply them with a number of legal substances to keep them obedient and compliant with what he wanted them to do. And not everyone was aware that they were ingesting these substances. I think he was spiking drinks, for example, and also they certainly weren't aware a lot of the time that they were being recorded. And the morning after he got done with all the drugs and all the bullshit he put his body through, he'd actually need an IV, like a actual fluids pumped into his body just to recover from what went on. Like, when you're pushing yourself that hard, it's not a party, mate. This whole thing of Diddy's parties, fuck off. That's a whole nother level, that. And weirdly, I don't know what level his mother's involved in this, and there's some suspicion that she was involved in...
His mum? Oh my... So it's not just a freaky-ass person, it's a freaky-ass family. What the fuck?
Some way, shape or form, maybe in the recruitment, I don't know. But there's a video of her and him getting an IV, like the morning after.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
They're doing these freak-offs together. What in the actual fuck am I hearing?
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah,
I love you.
I love you too.
Wonder where those lips have been.
Oh my god, that is the I felt some sort of sensation in my body that I didn't like. I feel creepy crawlies, you know. That has made me feel ill.
You gotta ask though, don't you? Fuck me. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Secure in the bag, go on. Go on. That has made me feel rancid.
So Diddy's crew would book the hotel rooms for him and stock the rooms with the freak-off supplies. This would include the drugs, the baby oil, the lube, extra sheets, so that inevitably when the sheets were absolutely ravaged by whatever the fuck was going on in there, they could redo the hotel room the next morning. They would make sure all the cash was there so Diddy could pay the sex workers afterwards, and even the IV fluids would be ready and waiting for him. What's mad is it's such like a military operation. Like he's doing it that often that he's got it off to a T. And obviously, as you've all have heard by now, when they raided his house, they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil. How the hell does that happen? I understand, like, we need loads of baby oil, right? We're doing these freak-offs regularly. I don't know what point the baby oil comes in, right? I've never needed baby oil for sex before. I understand maybe they're using lube or whatever. Why so much baby oil? I need to know this. If I heard 100 baby oils, I'd be like, well, that's a lot. It's a hell of a lot. But I suppose if you're doing like 2 freak-offs a week, 1 full bottle of baby oil, depending on what the hell's going in there, maybe, I don't know. But 1,000? It's as if he's making sure that in the event of World War III, we go down to the bunker, the freak-offs continue. We got enough forever, no matter what happens. Ironically, he's got enough for 25 years, which is probably what you'll be looking at in jail. Now, in order for Diddy to keep these victims continuing with these freak-offs, he put them through a lot. There was physical violence. He promised them career opportunities that sometimes would obviously never happen. He'd tell them he was going to support them financially and then withhold that if they didn't do whatever he wanted them to do. He'd track their whereabouts, so he would let them know, like, I know you're here, I know what you're doing. So they constantly felt this overbearing pressure of, like, you don't have freedom. You belong to me now. He'd even dictate their appearance to them. So like what they were wearing, how they did their makeup and hair, all of that. It all had to be about what he wanted. Obviously, he had them on drugs, right? So he had the supply of drugs, so he had control over them in that sense. And he even kept an eye on their medical records. Let that sink in. How in-depth this man was willing to go to maintain control over these people. It's fucking dark. And these victims have reported that during freak-offs, but also outside of freak-offs, they were subjected to physical abuse to a point where sometimes it would take them weeks to heal from. And remember how powerful P. Diddy was within the...
What are they doing for them to have to heal for weeks? Jesus Christ.
Music industry, right? This guy is one of the most powerful men in music, and some of these people were in the industry, so he would threaten their careers and their livelihoods if they didn't participate. And that level of control must have been unbearable for some people. So when people say, oh, well, they could have just not done it or whatever, that's fucking a lot of shit to be put through that. And then remember, he's got footage of them doing all of this stuff that he is telling them to do during the freak-off.
Got them in like a chokehold, they're screwed either way.
Things that they ordinarily would never have done. Probably very embarrassing. And he then holds it over their head, threatening them to release it, exposing them if they don't continue to please him. I'm surprised some of them didn't commit suicide, honestly, because it feels inescapable when you're reading how controlled they were. Now, there was a lot of violence towards a lot of different women, it's quite clear, but one of the key bits of evidence they've got is when Cassie Ventura tried to leave the hotel room and was captured on...
I think I've seen this footage. Doesn't he like chase her and then beat her and someone catches it happening or something like that? Like, you see that? How is that not getting someone put in jail? I mean, it's obvious, it's money, right? I'm asking this question. The answer's obvious, it's money. But flipping hell.
CCTV being beaten up by P. Diddy. There is Cassie trying to put her shoes on as she ran from him while apparently he was in the shower. He realised and he gets out the shower, throws a towel on and comes running down. I mean, this guy's a psychopath. Grabs her, throws her to the floor, and then starts kicking her. It's just disgusting what this man is. She just lays there because...
I don't even want to watch this shit, bro. That is fucking horrifying.
Terrified of him. He's throwing things at her. I think that was a vase they said that he threw at her. He's really a monster, this man. Apparently, when a member of the hotel security intervened, he actually tried to bribe them to ensure their silence as well. And according to the indictment, one of his victims was brutalized so badly that they had to go into hiding so that no one could actually see how bad the injuries were, because it would have connected it to P. Diddy. And the crazy thing is, this is like the 4th video I've done on this guy. Let's not forget everything else he's also been accused of before this even. There was Keffe D, who was in the car when they shot Tupac, who said that it was P. Diddy who put him up to it. He'd already paid Cassie $30 million to not go any further with her accusations, which is ironic because he's going to get fucked for it anyways, thankfully. One of his ex-girlfriends, Gina, had also come out and accused him of beating her up, saying that he'd punched her in the side of the head, stamped on her stomach, you know, further patterns of this behavior, clearly. Lisa Gardner accused him last year of forcing her to have sex with him and another associate of his when she was just 16 years old. Another woman who chose to remain anonymous said that when she was 17, she was in the studio with P. Diddy and a group of men, and that they plied her with drugs and gang raped her. It's insane how much smoke there is here to say that P. Diddy could even possibly be innocent. There was also the lawsuit from Lil Rod, the music producer, who said that he was forced to provide drugs and all the assistance for these bloody freak-offs. He said he seen P. Diddy shoot a guy at the studio, and then also said that P. Diddy was trying to, like, pimp him out to Cuba Gooding Jr. Fucking weird, by the way. And one of the girls from a band that he was managing called Danity Kane even did a lawsuit where she had verified that he would beat the shit out of Cassie, including like slapping, choking. I think he threw like a scalding hot pan on her. And when she tried to help the girl, he threatened her life. This man is a...
What the fuck? Surely these people would, I guess maybe, I don't know. Surely these people would have reported this and the police would have had knowledge on this already. What am I hearing?
Real danger to society. Like, they should never let this fucking prick out. And honestly, I'm actually really interested to know what could come out next, because I feel like we're looking at the tip of the iceberg here. He has so many huge celebrity friends that he's been very tight with for many, many years. God knows what they've all been up to together. There's this interview with Usher where he talks about being around Diddy when he was like 13, 14 years old, and Diddy was his custodian.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called.
Is he involved then? What the fuck?
And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's.
Did you see that gulp from Usher? Just run this back. His head's down. We're talking about his time with P. Diddy, and there's a gulp.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was
Let's be real here, right? What the fuck is any 13-year-old doing hanging around in that kind of environment? Who the fuck would have thought that was a good idea?
but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was
If you can't even understand what
Jesus
you're looking at,
Christ.
you shouldn't have been there. Like, I understand the 90s was a different place and attitudes were different, but like, this is mental.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
hell no.
And I definitely remember hearing a story from Usher where basically a woman came in his room and fucked him. I mean, he was definitely underage. That shit took place under the supervision of P. Diddy. And let's look at the way he's been with Justin Bieber, because that is really fucking weird.
Where we hanging out and what we doing.
So he's been seeing him since he was like genuinely a kid.
We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So.
What the fuck? What? Oh my god, the stuff that is going to come out is going to be absolutely flipping insane. Why is he like? Does he just have a thing with like staying with young kids?
And we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
I think this video was taken maybe a few years later, or like a year or two later.
Everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't. I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But
Why does he? What am I? I'm so fucking baffled by this.
you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'd hazard a guess to say Diddy's about 40 there, Bieber's about 50, and judging by what people are saying, what kind of 40-year-old man, other than Michael Jackson, wants to hang out with a 15-year-old boy, and when he hasn't seen him, Royal, starts making him feel like guilty about why you not hang out with me no more. It's fucking weird, man. And then years later, there's this footage of Bieber at a Diddy party just totally wrecked.
The bad boy. Oh, he's bad boy now.
Signing the bad boy.
Here's your icon alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. Bad boy. Bad boy.
You just wonder, don't you? You just wonder, has the diddler got to him? Honestly, you really do.
The diddler, you know what? The diddler's a very good name for someone like this. The diddler,
because he's done other interviews where he sounds really mentally scarred. And look, I know like being famous must be a horrendous being that young, but it sounds like something's gone on.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters, and I just want to protect her,
You just don't know. It doesn't bear thinking about, actually. So Diddy's lawyer's given a statement. Let's see what he's got to say for himself.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to...
I've heard that his lawyers apparently... of course, if you're defending someone like this, you've got to be some sort of freak. But people have been laughing at this guy. Apparently, he's just defending in the weirdest ways. I think there's something to do with the baby oil and saying about how it's not proven or something.
Fight this to the end. He's innocent.
Or how it's not a problem to have that much oil. Is it a crime or something like that? Fucking hell.
He came to New York to establish his innocence. He's not afraid. He's not afraid of the charges.
Not afraid. You know when you're picking your language for something as serious as these allegations, they just say, I'm not afraid. It's just such a strange choice of words. I get they're trying to be like bullish, like we've got nothing to hide, we're innocent, but they just say, I'm not afraid. It's just childish language, that.
There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to this day.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to dealing with these allegations. Fuck off, man. Nothing he's saying even sounds believable already. Like, if you want me to believe the overall conclusion that you're innocent, the things you say before that have to make a bit of sense. He sounds like he's talking bollocks.
He didn't do these things. This was a 10-year relationship. There's no coercion. There's no crime.
No crime. We've literally got footage of him dragging her around a fucking hotel room floor, mate. Beating her up. No crime. Fuck you, you lying bastard. I hate lawyers who just don't have a soul, do they? They don't give a shit.
Someone who brought a civil case and now is finding themselves as a witness in a criminal case.
Well, why is that? Is that because that civil case that she brought was just the tip of the fucking iceberg? It would appear so, you fucking dick.
We're going to fight this case with everything we have, as is he. And eventually he's going to be shown to be innocent.
You know what he's doing, though? And shout out to Bruce Rivers, a criminal lawyer, YouTuber, a good friend of mine. I've had him on the channel before. He did say, look, they're just going to give him false hope and bleed him dry for every penny, and the outcome is going to be the fucking same anyway. Which, according to Bruce, was actually 25 years minimum. And it makes total sense, man. There's so much evidence. And one of the key bits of this is they're only going after Diddy, which means the other people who are involved have probably said, we'll testify, just don't put us in jail.
Oh, that's fucked. Oh, well, there you go then. I guess that's writing that off then.
So, he's fucked. He is fucked, mate. And honestly, there's...
Does he mean people that have also done fucked up shit, or people that he's messed up, like, their lives and stuff? Because if it's that, then fair enough. But if it's people that are also involved in terms of doing all this wild ass stuff, then that is depressing.
A lot of really powerful people out there who just treat people like absolute shit on the bottom of their shoe. And they get away with it because they've got so much power. And I can't help but think, you fucking deserve this, you prick. And I hope they throw the fucking book at him. But that's us up to date for today. But I will continue.
Well, there we go. That is not a very new... This is like 8 days old. This is like not up-to-date information at all. But this is just looking into it. I'm going to definitely do more reactions around this because... Like I said, there's news that's just come out, I'm pretty sure. Every allegation against P. Diddy explained. Damn. That could be a video to react to as well. But that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts on this. I mean, this is news that is just obviously sick. But, yeah, what do you think about all of this? Do you think justice will actually be served and it'll get thrown away and then other people will be shown to be involved and then they'll be, I don't know, sentenced or whatever? I don't really know how this stuff works because they always just seem to get away with it. But let me know your thoughts, and yeah, until next time.